Welcome to the first episode of College Football Pre-Snap. I'm Will, and I'm here to give you the insight on this week's top games. Let's start off by looking at who the top 5 teams in the nation will be facing this weekend, and if any of them are on upset alert. A primetime matchup at 8 o'clock Eastern features the number 1 Kansas State Wildcats, and they will be playing the Baylor Bears. This game has a lot of potential, and Heisman hopeful Colin Klein and the Wildcats will look to keep their winning ways alive as Nick Florence and the explosive Baylor Bear offense look to try and keep up. Well, since Baylor's defense hasn't stopped anyone this year, I think Kansas State's defense will go down in Waco and make some few stops and win this shootout 42-28. Moving on to the number 2 team in the land, the Oregon Ducks. The Ducks will be playing a very good number 13 ranked Stanford Cardinal team that has beaten USC, and their only loss is to the number 3 team in the nation, Notre Dame. But they say that speed kills, and Oregon is the fastest team in the nation. The Ducks run away from the stout Cardinal defense 56-35 and look to stamp their ticket to a BCS championship game if they can beat Oregon State in the Civil War next week. Then early in the afternoon, the number 3 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish will be taking on the struggling Deacons of Wake Forest. Wake Forest is 5-5 overall and 3-5 in the ACC. And that just makes the Notre Dame defense salivate. The Fighting Irish take care of business at home, 35-17. In Tuscaloosa, number 4 Alabama and their top-notch defense will get to play a cupcake matchup against a very less than desirable Western Carolina Catamount team who are 1-9 and haven't won a single game in their conference. Expect Alabama to roll over the Catamounts 63-0, a shutout that'll have the second string playing right after halftime. All right, now to round out the top 5 teams in the nation, Georgia will be hosting Georgia Southern, who is a leader in the Southern Conference with a 6-2 conference record and an overall 8-2 record. I don't think that the Mighty Eagles will be able to beat the Bulldogs, but I expect it to be a lot closer than people expect. With 2 defenses that are only allowing 19 points a game, I think Georgia Southern hangs around, but ends up losing this game 24-28. Now we move on to the in-state teams that will be playing this weekend. Up first are the number 12 Oklahoma Sooners, who travel to Morgantown to face the explosive West Virginia Mountaineers. The Mountaineers have lost 4 straight, and the Sooners' defense has been shaky at times and mostly at the beginning of the season. Geno Smith, the Mountaineers' quarterback, was the favorite to win the Heisman, so expect OU to give up some points to West Virginia, but the Mountaineers' defense is one of the worst in the NCAA, giving up 40 points a game. I think OU finally beats West Virginia 42-21, and the Mountaineers lose 5 straight. The number 23 Texas Tech Red Raiders travel to Stillwater to face number 24 Oklahoma State. They came off a huge win against West Virginia last week, and the number 23 Red Raiders are led by Seth Doege at quarterback. Their defenses are not very good, but OSU has the number 2 offense in the land, and I think that'll be too much for the Red Raiders. Cowboys survive this one in Stillwater, 35-28. As for the last team playing D1 in Oklahoma, Tulsa, who leads the Western Division of Conference USA, will face the leader of the Eastern Division of their conference, UCF. Both teams are undefeated in conference at 6-0, and both have identical records at 8-2. Neither team's schedule has been really difficult. They've only combined to play 2 teams that are above 500 right now, but Tulsa is undefeated at home, and I think that's going to really play a huge part. I think they win this one 28-17 against Central Florida. And now it's time for my team that I'm putting on upset alert. I'm going to put Clemson on upset alert. They're number 11 right now, and they're playing a very scrappy North Carolina State team that pulled a huge upset earlier this season against Florida State. Clemson is at home at Death Valley, but I think NC State's defense, who's been really good at times, will find a way to slow down the explosive Clemson squad, and NC State will have a good showing from quarterback Mike Glennon, and I think they pull off this upset really close, end it with a field goal, 24-21. That's all for this week's games. We'll be back next week to recap and keep you up to date on the matchups following. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Will Warner, and this has been the weekly College Football Pre-Snap.